Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy is one movie we can all agree that was one of the best comic book movies of all time. It had an amazing soundtrack, characters we didn't really know, and we were introduced and just fell in love with these characters. That's why I've been looking forward to watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, we already know who these characters are. We were introduced to all these characters in the first movie. So this movie, what it does, it kind of fleshes out these characters. It gives them layers. It tells you their backstory or why they ended up together being the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, like most sequels, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 does not live up to the hype of the first movie because the first movie was so damn awesome, including the soundtrack and everybody in that movie. The jokes were just hitting on the perfect notes. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has a lot of great moments, a lot of great characterization, a lot of great jokes. But you could tell they were trying really hard with all these jokes. They were doing a lot of fart jokes and just jokes to push the boundary to make everybody laugh, because that's what the Guardians of the Galaxy do. These guys are about jokes. Speaking of jokes, Batista was, for me, the best character in this movie. Every time he told a joke or actually just told the truth, everybody laughed in the theater. I laughed. It was just a good time. One of the problem I had was, like, there's not enough screen time for all the characters, but the screen time they get, it works for some of them. Baby Groot, you know who Groot was in the first movie you've seen from the trailers. Baby Groot, just super adorable. So his role in this movie, he delivers his role. Rocket, he's shooting people up, blowing stuff up, stuff that Rocket does. They get their characters fleshed out, but it's just not enough time for everybody, because at the end of the day, it's the relationship between Ego, which is Kurt Russell's character, and Star-Lord. The plan is kind of too generic, and even the sub-villains in this movie, they're too generic because they don't bring anything to the story besides being in the movie just to show you some cool action sequences. Now this movie kind of lacks the soundtrack of the first one, because in the first movie, it's all about the soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack is just, you don't think about that movie without the soundtrack. And in this movie, the soundtrack is just so forgettable, and a lot of the times they actually use cinematic score. Like, they didn't use just the soundtrack throughout the entire movie. So the soundtrack is forgettable, but there was a moment at the end where Peter Quill gets, let's just say, another device to play music, and I thought that moment was cool because it reminded me when I was like in middle school, like 10 years ago. So that was a cool like moment, throwback for me. I mean, 10 years ago, it's already a throwback. I can't believe that was 10 years ago. Overall, this movie, it has a lot of great characters, a lot of action sequences, and all the jokes that you want. Sometimes a little bit too forced, and the villain might fall a little bit flat. But the last act of this movie is very good, is very well paced, and I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 a grade of a C. One of the things that tripped me off in this movie, because we're literally so close from the Infinity War, and there was literally no ties into the Infinity War. Like, I still don't understand what's going on, because I expected this movie to have some cameos, to have something that's going to lead into the Infinity War. But this movie, it kind of, at the end of the movie, it just sets up Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It doesn't really tie into the other side of the Marvel Universe, which is kind of crazy to me, because I expected this movie since last year to have something leading up to the Infinity War, but we didn't get anything. That's pretty crazy to me. So please let me know in the comment section below. You guys, what do you guys think is going to happen with the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, how are they going to tie into the Infinity War? So please let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. My name's Angel, and hit me up.